If you people have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So we were talking about the different types of neurons. So depending upon the function that it does, there are three types of neurons, right? Sensory neuron, motor neuron, and association or relay neuron. So let's quickly revise. So sensory neurons are those neurons that carry the impulses from the receptor to the central nervous system. Meaning, as soon as we get the stimulus applied onto us, the whole entire signal is carried on to our central nervous system through these sensory neurons. So take up the impulse, bring it to the brain. After that, when the brain comprehends the impulse, when the brain understands what is the, you can say, stimulus that is provided, and accordingly, the brain has to produce a response. So then that impulse is carried by the motor neuron, the effector, which could be a muscle, which could be a gland. And then comes the association or relay neuron, which is the one that sort of connects the sensory and the motor neurons together, right? This is what we have studied. Then we have also seen the various examples of receptors. Have you people written this part down, the receptor part, in your notebooks or in your notes?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So we have also seen the various types of receptors like olfactory receptor, gustatory receptor. So olfactory receptor, these are for the sense of smell and they are present in the nose. Gustatory receptors are present on the tongue and they are responsible for the sense of taste. Then the auditory receptors, they are responsible for hearing, meaning the sense of hearing, and they are present in our ears. Thigmoreceptors are responsible for the sense of touch. Thermo for the sense of heat, and visual receptors for the sense of sight. Now, this was all there is to know about the introduction and the different parts of our nervous system which makes the nervous system what it is. Now, furthermore, we will talk about the component of the central nervous system, that is the human brain. Now, see, human brain, it's like the main coordinating center of our body. Whatever thing happens in our body, whatever you think, whatever you are, it's because of the brain that is there. So the central nervous system, it has two components, the brain and the spinal cord. Now, since they are very delicate organs of our body, so they have to be provided with a lot of protection. So the brain, it's protected inside the cranium, which is the brain box, right? It is the cranium. Now, cranium is a part of our skull. So this is our skull, like whole entire thing is our skull, which contains the facial bones and the skull bones. I mean, the cranial bones. So in the cranium, the brain is present. Cranium is also called as the brain box, and it is the part of the skull that is responsible for protecting the brain. Now, brain, we all know that it is the main coordinating center of our body, and every single activity that happens in our body, it happens because of the presence of brain, and that is why it's so very important. Now, the brain and the spinal cord, apart from being enclosed inside a bony structure like the cranium for the brain, the vertebral column for the spinal cord, they are also protected by three layers that surround them. It's like protective membranous layer that surround them. And these layers are called as meninges. What are the three layers? Dura mater is there, arachnoid is there, and pia mater is there. Now the thing is that if like this is one layer, another layer, and the third layer, so in between them, a fluid is filled and that fluid is called as cerebrospinal fluid. So why is it there for? Cerebrospinal fluid is responsible for protecting it against shock and injury. So that if let's just say, so there are so many times that we hit our head on something, isn't it? We get hit by certainly we some sort of shock happens normally in day-to-day life also. Sometimes we hit our head. So why do we not get a serious brain disease because of that? It's because for minute injuries or for a little impact injuries, the cerebrospinal fluid is there to protect the brain and the spinal cord from the shock and from injury. Okay. But when the injury or the extent of injury becomes really, really high, then this also fails. But for the normal day-to-day life that we live, the cerebrospinal fluid, along with the structure, the bony structure that the brain is present in, it's responsible for protecting the brain and protecting the spinal cord. Now the brain, it weighs around 1.5 kg. And now we're going to see the different parts of the brain. What are all the various parts? So if the brain has to be divided, it has been divided into three major parts. Forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. Forebrain is the part of the brain that is towards the front hand side. Midbrain is right here, and then the hindbrain is right at the base of the skull, or you can say that area. So first, the forebrain. Now, the forebrain is the main thinking part of the brain, meaning we think because of this part of our brain. And the forebrain consists of the cerebrum, it consists of thalamus, and it consists of hypothalamus. Three things. Now, cerebrum, this is responsible for reasoning, logic, emotions, speech, memory, then visual, then processing, recognition of auditory and taste stimuli. So it's like whenever I ask you people any question, that reasoning part, your forebrain takes up, right? The visual, when you see something, your forebrain visualizes the stuff that you're seeing and tells you what you're seeing. Recognition of something, auditory, like when you hear something, you hear a voice or something, you understand that it is the person or someone you know or someone you don't know. For example, when you come in the class, my video is off, but my mic is on. So when I like welcome you all in the class, you people listen to my voice and you understand, yes, it is Mariam ma'am's voice, isn't it? But if someone else would be here and be like in someone else's voice, like, good evening, students, how are you? So you would understand that that's not Mariam ma'am's, right? So this understanding that develops inside you, that is because of the cerebrum. Okay. Then the thalamus and the hypothalamus are two extra structures that are found in the forebrain. And this hypothalamus, it is an endocrine gland. Endocrine gland meaning it is responsible for secreting hormones. Clear? Understood? We will study the function of endocrine gland, don't worry about it. But yes, now after that, there comes the midbrain. Now see, the midbrain is the part that connects the forebrain and the hindbrain. So it's like a connecting part in between them. It acts like a bridge and transmits the signal from the forebrain to the hindbrain. So it's like a connective ridge in between them. And what is it responsible for? It is responsible for motor control, vision, hearing, temperature regulation of our body, okay, and alertness also. So we are alert because of the midbrain. Then comes the hindbrain. Mostly the hindbrain is responsible for controlling our voluntary actions. Involuntary action. Involuntary actions meaning those actions that are not under our control. They are actually controlled by the hindbrain. They are responsible. Now the hindbrain, it also has certain parts in it, like medulla is there, pons is there, and also cerebellum. So three parts are there. So the medulla of the hindbrain, it controls the involuntary activities such as our blood pressure, salivation, vomiting, all of these things. And the part of the hindbrain, which is called as the cerebellum, this one is responsible for controlling the balance and the posture of our body. Okay, so the reason why we can balance, and when you walk straight, you can walk straight, it's because of the presence of a well-developed cerebellum. And same way, just like how the brain is protected by the cranium, which is a bony structure, same way, the spinal cord is a structure protected by the vertebral column, or you can call it as the backbone, right? It is again a bony structure responsible for protection. Is it clear, students? Any doubts anywhere? No. Okay, now see, this is the picture of the human brain that shows you the variety of the different parts. Now see here, the major part of our human brain consists of the cerebrum, the major part, okay? The cranium is the skull, or you can call it as the brain box, which protects our brain. And this particular cerebrum, the hypothalamus, these are the parts of the forebrain. And then there comes the midbrain, which is right in the middle, and it connects the forebrain to the hindbrain. And when you talk about the hindbrain, so do you see this little portion? This is your portion that is the cerebellum. Then this at the brain stem, there is medulla and then there is the pons. So these three things together make up the hindbrain. So imagine if anyone would ask you like what is the major part or what is the major component of human brain? So what is it, students? Tell me. It is the cerebellum.
Cerebrum.
Cerebrum. You see all these topsy-turvy and convoluted part, the whole entire brain consists of it, and that is the cerebrum portion. So the structure of the brain is clear to everyone. Does anyone have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No doubts. Oh, very good. All right, when people note down, then we'll see more in depth about each of the parts. So you have to start from human brain, right? Oh,
Ma'am, can you scroll down?
everyone's done till here. Also, students, don't be in a hurry to complete it. You can write slowly, slowly. Okay, so let everyone finish, then I'll start. Done, students? Shall I scroll down?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students? Shall I scroll down? Students, are you done? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Done.
Done, students?
Yes.
Shall I scroll down?
Yes.
No.
Done.
Yes, everyone's done, students? Shall I scroll down?
Yes, ma'am.
Not yet. I'm writing it down.
Okay, okay.
I'm done.
Teacher, what's the midbrain FO?
Yes, Sumit?
The last para, the midbrain. What's the next word?
Form. Forms. Forms.
Okay. I'm done.
Everyone's done in here, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does anyone have any doubts up until now? Anything you people want to ask? Oh. Done, students? Any doubts up until now, students? Anything you want to ask? No. Done, students? Shall I scroll down? No one is done till here.
Ma'am, I had to leave the meeting for the submitting the problems. Like the last part is there.
Okay, you people note down.
Ma'am,
Yes, Amir?
I had explanation error, so I
Your
left the
voice is
meeting.
not clear, dear. I can't understand what you're saying. Can you speak again?
I had a connection error, ma'am, so I left the meeting. Can we go to
You
the
didn't
last
finish the
part?
previous part.
Yeah, it is
This one.
responsible. Yeah. Okay, yeah, done. Thanks. And
And students? Done till here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So up until now, do you people have any doubts in what we have discussed?
No, ma'am.
No.
What about the rest of the students? No doubts? Okay, very
Mm.
good. So up until now, we have seen the various parts of the brain and how each part is responsible for each of the processes. Now, furthermore, we're going to see the various like in-depth part and their, you can say, functions in depth. Okay. So this was about the brain. Now see, in the exams, you might get asked a lot of questions about different components of the brain. They can ask you to write the different parts of the brain, and then they can also ask you to write the functions of the different parts of the brain. Is it clear, students? No one will ask you to draw the diagram, but yes, one thing can happen that you should know which part is present at which location in the diagram. It's because they can give you the diagram, they'll remove all the labelings, and then they'll put one line and ask you to write the function of that part that they are pointing at. So you should know which part is placed where in this diagram, and you should understand all the labelings. Is it clear?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so for today's class, we are going to keep it till here only. And in the next class, we are going to see more about each of the functions of each of the parts of the brain. Is it clear?